Greetings fellow tank commanders. In this video I'm going to be showing you a fun game that I had with the US Sexton 1. This is a tier 3 American premium artillery tank with regular matchmaking. The game I'm playing is a standard battle on Ghost Town with tier 3 as the top tier and 2 artillery on each team. For this game I am platooned up with Mixey360, who is also in a US Sexton 1, and Tadiwari Kuno, who is in an M22 Locust. My tank is equipped with a rammer, enhanced gun laying drive, and camouflage net. And I'm using one of my less skilled American crews with only 5 crew skills and perks. I've gone to a pretty standard location for an artillery on Ghost Town. This area gives some good opportunities to shoot into the city, and gives you a little bit of elevation to shoot over the buildings. The US Sexton 1 is one of my favorite low-tier premium tanks to use. It is a fantastic gun with a fast reload time, which makes the gameplay exciting for an artillery. And it has amazing damage potential on its own, but when you're in a platoon with another US Sexton 1, things can get a little crazy. The shell velocity is what you would expect from a low-tier artillery, and so leading fast-moving targets in the early game can be quite difficult. But when you find an easy target sitting still in the middle of a courtyard like this tank destroyer here, you can absolutely annihilate them. Ooh, a piece of candy! This game is progressing very fast, with already 9 tanks destroyed in only a minute and a half, including my platoon mate light tank who did an aggressive spotting run. This is a pretty easy target here to lead, and that's another kill. When your shot hits a tier 3 target, it either destroys them or takes a huge chunk out of their hit points. Mixey360 and I have been in a lot of US Sexton platoons together, and we know that when we encounter a more heavily armored target like this S35 here, our combined rate of fire can overwhelm any target. It doesn't matter whether it's a tier 3 heavily armored medium tank or a tier 5 KV-1. Now that I've been spotted out here and our team is taking quite a beating, I've decided to fall back towards the corner of the map. This is an ideal position for an artillery to make a final stand, and with still 8 tanks remaining, Mixey and I are just hoping to be able to get a few more damage hits before the end of the battle. My platoon mate decided to stay out in the open and cover our remaining teammates, and that position is also a pretty good place to make a final stand. The ridge line provides cover from several directions, and since we now have 2 different locations, we can create a great crossfire on the enemies that are trying to approach the base. This light tank takes out a good portion of my hit points, but I've still got over half left and my platoon mates got my back. Now before we destroyed that light tank, it was 8 versus 2. One tank doesn't do much to even the odds, but this Sexton 1 makes an easy target to add to our kill count. Part of the key to a successful final stand like this is being able to spot out the enemies before they find you. Because the Sexton 1s have such a fast reload time, you don't just need to sit in the corner and wait for the enemy to round it. You can be a little more active and aggressive like I'm being now, peeking out to spot the enemy, and then I'm able to take several shots before they even reach my location. And Mixey360 and I are no strangers to this kind of final stand. This is quite a large wave of enemies coming in to attack our position, and that tank destroyer completely focused on my platoon mate doesn't realize that I have an easy shot on his side. I probably should have taken a little extra time to aim that shot, but it works out alright. You can see Mixey off to the left just peeking over the ridge line to spot out the light tank. His first shot wasn't successful, and he has to be quick about this because the enemy artillery is no doubt locking in on his position. And he finishes another one off, which puts us in a 3 versus 2 battle. What was just a final stand is now turned into an epic comeback. Since the enemy definitely now knows that Mixey was over there, we decided to hide in the same corner and combine our firepower directly. The next customer is a medium 3, and that was a very important shot that just missed. Thankfully, the medium shot doesn't do much damage to Mixey, and I'm already loaded to finish him off. Now we've got pesky light tank hanging out at a distance. He's too far for us to shotgun, so we've gone into our artillery modes. And he can't keep moving fast enough to avoid our artillery shots, and that's another one down, and there's only 1 tank left. An enemy artillery that misses his shot, and now we have the advantage in the game. At this point we coordinated that I would move forward and spot out the enemy artillery, while Mixey would remain on overwatch. And because of that last shot, we now know his location. I'm heading over towards the ridge lines where I can simply just peek over and roll back if I need to hide. And here we find the enemy artillery is quite close by. The enemy Sexton 1 keeps moving to avoid our shots, and so I switch over to my artillery mode and he hits his shot, but it does not finish me off. And Mixey gets the final kill to bring us back from an 8 versus 2 battle. I can't believe it. Now let's check the post-game stats and see how we did. For this game, I managed to earn 26,000 silver without any multipliers and 4,052 experience with the 2 times daily bonus. In this game, I dealt 710 damage, assisted with 160 damage, and destroyed 7 enemies. This tank has potential to do a lot more damage, but at tier 3, that many hit points can be hard to find. I got a Stark's medal for receiving 2 enemy hits and destroying 2 enemies. I also managed to get a Mastery Badge First Class and a Top Gun, as well as 5 points towards the Beasts of Prey earn-off. Mixey360 and I placed at the top of the team. I earned 1,039 base XP and Mixey earned 1,003 base XP. I dealt 710 damage and he dealt 726. I destroyed 7 and he destroyed 4 for a total of 11 enemies destroyed. I fired 25 shots, hit 9 and penetrated 9. Mixey shot 23, hit 9 and penetrated 9. 2 very similar and epic performances in the same game. In terms of crew and module damage, I injured the gunner in the enemy Sexton 1, damaged the engine in the M2 medium, damaged the turret and injured the commander in the medium 3, and damaged the fuel tank in the T1E6X. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing that awesome game with a US Sexton 1 platoon. It's such a fun low tier tank to play, and one of my favorites to platoon up in. Stay tuned for more awesome World of Tanks videos.